Hey guys, my name is Faith Moyosori Agbola, aka AFM Stories. You're welcome to my scholarship story, and with me today is Oyindamola Williams, who's going to be studying an MSc in Human-Computer Interaction at the University of Birmingham. It's really exciting to see you today, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot from you. How does it feel like to be a Chevening scholar?
It feels very surreal. It feels like, am I finally here? It feels exciting, thinking about the new journey I'll be undertaking. It also feels very rewarding that all that hard work is finally paying off. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Okay, so do you think that anybody can win a scholarship?
Well, I think theoretically, yes, anyone can do it, but it really depends on how much work you are willing to put into it. Because a scholarship is strange as investing in your life. And you have to ask yourself, why would somebody want to do that? Meaning that they have something that they are looking for as a return for their investment. So what kind of work are you going to put into it? How are you going to make sure that it is worthwhile for them? So I think it's possible for anyone who is willing to put in the work. Anyone who is willing to understand that this is somebody is making a stake on me and it will not go to waste. So yeah, it depends on how much passion and work you're willing to put into it.
Okay, so I'm sure that you've interacted with scholars in your course. So what would you say you've noticed about scholars? What would you say it's about? Okay, let's say 3 characteristics of scholars that you've noticed.
Okay, so one thing I've noticed about Chevening scholars, which is very beautiful, is the fact that everybody is different. Everyone has their own story and they own it. You have different people from different industries. You have creatives, you have people in health, people that are entrepreneurs, people in governance, people that are professionals. Whatever space you find yourself, everyone is unique. So I think the first characteristic of a Chevening scholar is owning your story, being who you are, being passionate about what you're doing. The second thing is that they are willing to go the extra mile. A Chevening scholar is not your regular youth or your regular, not just youth get Chevening scholarships,
but that means 7-year-old.
Yeah, right.
That
was very inspiring. So whatever you're doing, you have to go that extra mile because that's what gives you that edge over someone else. So they are willing to go the extra mile. And thirdly, I've also noticed that they are very empathetic. There's that empathy, there's that sense of community, there's that team spirit and collaboration. Yes, there's that, there's no one is like, I'm independent, I'm all that, so I'm on my own, I'm separate. There's that collaboration and team spirit going on. So I think
that actually works for the objective because Chevening wants people that network, people can do things. They want you to join the network so you can do stuff to people. So yeah. That's really good. So now I want to talk specifically about you. So you're studying human-computer interaction. I find that really interesting. And I'd like to know, so what inspired you to study the course? What about your journey? What led you to deciding that, okay, this is what I want to do?
Thank you. Human-computer interaction, first of all, is about, as the name goes, is about how humans interact with computers. And I also see it as how computers interact with humans, in the sense that how we can learn the needs of people, we can learn about their problems and how to prefer those solutions using technology. So it's about understanding people and understanding the technologies that they use, understanding how technology can solve problems for people, for organizations, and for economies. So how I got to this point was I did my first degree in information and communication science. And I had two courses in human-computer interaction. And it was very interesting for me because I always find humans fascinating. Understanding how people are able to use computers, how they interact with computers, how we can understand, what is going on, how they interact with those systems. Currently, I'm a developer and a designer. And one thing that I've noticed in my journey is that most of the time there's so much emphasis on the technology, so much emphasis on how we can push technology down people's throats without actually asking them, what do you want? What is your problem? What are you actually facing? How can we address those specific needs? So I'm very passionate about human-computer interaction because I want to understand people so that I can prefer the right technological solutions for their problems. And that would really drive change in Nigeria, which I'm very passionate about, how technology can drive change in Nigeria. Because I believe if we are going to proceed as a nation, technology is going to be one of the anchors. It's going to be the major anchor that is going to propel us forward as a country. So it's very important.
Okay, that's really nice. So how has it been being a woman or a young person in tech? Like, how has the experience been like?
To be honest, it's not easy.
Okay.
Because most spaces where I enter, I find that I'm usually like the only woman or one of the few women there. And it has been really great seeing how there has been so much more conversation driven towards including more women in tech. But generally, I would say that, I won't say that I have felt like because I'm a woman, I can't do this. I come from a family where everyone is encouraged to pursue what is in their heart. Everyone is encouraged to pursue their dreams, irrespective of gender. So even if I enter a space where it's like there are microaggressions going on about, okay, you're a woman, you can't do this, I never really pay attention to those things because I don't feel like because I'm a woman, I'm less deserving of being in that space. So generally has not been easy, but that's one thing I'm also very passionate about amplifying, the voices of women, about creating safe spaces for everyone, and not just for women, but generally for underrepresented people in any space I find myself.
So what would you advise other women in tech, like people that, for you, you're not paying attention to those things, but I'm sure that there are people that these things are really getting to them. How would you advise that they navigate through, some of those indirect, aggressions?
Well, I think first of all, it's very important that you know your onions. You have to be good. I don't believe in people handing things over to people just because. There's something called like being like a diversity hire, so to speak. Like you're just that token that people are like, so they can say, oh, we have women in our company, or we have more inclusion just for the sake of it. I feel like people should be more intentional about driving that inclusion, about looking for people that are deserving of that role. So for a woman, you have to make sure that whatever space you find yourself, you have earned that role. So when you get there, it's not like, oh, she's there because, she's a woman. They were looking for a token, just, someone to be there. And as long as you're good at what you do, although there are times when you are good at what you do, but because of biases, things are still going on underground, you just have to prove yourself. And if you see those kind of things, I think it's good to speak truth to power. Whenever you see those kind of things, you have to be bold. You have to be bold enough to speak up and say that, no, this is not how this should be. And if you're seeing that something wrong is happening, be willing to be the voice, to speak, to speak up, so that people that are coming ahead will be able to will have a safe space.
So in your journey, did you ever get burnt out though? Like times when you're like, oh, I'm done with this, I'm not doing it again, like, this is too much.
Well, I think
Or did you get doubtful? Like maybe you felt like, okay, I might not be good enough to do this, or maybe this is too much for me or something.
Do you mean tech or you mean Chevening?
No, let's start from tech first.
Tech, okay. Yeah, I think getting tired is a very normal thing, especially if you're someone who works very hard. So, and it does get very overwhelming, especially if you're in a place where there's so much work to do, or if you are leading a team, which I did. But I think it's very important for you to be able to acknowledge when you're tired. Many people don't do that. They just feel like, because they feel like, oh, I'm superwoman, I have to
get tired.
Exactly.
They even try to push things, even when they should just rest, really.
Exactly. It's very important for you to know when it's time to rest, when your body needs that rest. Not just your body, your mind, even mentally, because it will tell on your work, that tiredness. So it's very important to be able to acknowledge that, oh, I am tired, I need rest. Give yourself permission, to be able to rest. And when you have done that, you realize that you come back revitalized. So there are moments where I have been tired. But I don't think I've ever gotten to a point where I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm very passionate about it. So I don't think I can ever say, I'm not doing this thing again. And it's like, but if I don't do this, what else would I be doing? Because it's really, exactly, I'm very passionate about it. But whenever I get tired, I know that it's important to rest. Though it's something I'm really working on. My family, that's one thing. It's very important to have accountability. My family, my friends, they're always on my matter when it comes to that
resting part.
That resting part, because sometimes you just forget, you just keep working and then you forget it's time to rest. So it's important to have that accountability. People who are able to check you and say, oh, lady, it's time for you to rest.
So actually, like, more detail about the work that you do. So your company or your projects, maybe you could talk about them briefly.
Okay, so I work as a developer and a designer. Currently, I'm a freelancer. I used to work at an agency. I was the lead web developer there.
Okay, nice.
So currently what I do is I work with clients. I have businesses I work with, businesses I liaise with, I consult with them. And that's basically what I do. I work
really intriguing. So you're already a leader in code. Anyway, so let's go straight into the Chevening part of this. So how did you find out about Chevening first?
I think Chevening is one of those scholarships that you can't not hear about it. It's very funny that these days I hear people like, oh, what's Chevening about? I've always heard about Chevening, especially if you're active on Twitter, which I'm very active on Twitter. So I followed accounts that were always posting about scholarships, about opportunities. So I'll just see something. When I saw it one time, I checked the requirements. I was like, this one.
It's not
no
me.
way. It's not me. I can't do it. But it was afterwards I checked again. I realized that, oh, this is actually something that I can do. So I think it was through social media.
So you believe that social media is a very useful tool, to find about scholarships as well?
Yes.
Do you know about any other platforms that people, can get information about scholarships?
Yes, there are certain websites I subscribe to their emails, so I get their newsletters. It was recently I had someone subscribe from there, like, I'm a Chevener now, I don't need this anymore.
I don't need it.
So I had to unsubscribe. I used to get regular updates from them. I think one was is this scholarships for change? I can't remember the name, but there are several.
But people need to subscribe to scholarship websites.
Just subscribe to their emails and then you get notified.
All right. So why did you apply for Chevening? Like, what is it about Chevening that made you so passionate about applying? This is actually your first time applying, or
yes?
Okay, she actually got in her first attempt. So what exactly about Chevening made you say, okay, I'm doing this?
Well, Chevening is. I feel like Chevening is very unique in the sense that it's a very purposeful scholarship. And I'm a very purposeful person. I believe, in pursuing the reason for which I was made. I believe in purpose. And when I saw how Chevening makes you consider, makes you really think about what are your goals, what are your aspirations, what do you want to do with your life, how do you want to help people. It's not just about me all the time. It's about the world. Yes, it's about other people.
What
it's
impact, what change.
Exactly,
what
it's about
to solve.
Bringing change. So I just saw that and it just really fit into who I am personally. That leadership, networking, and just generally being the change I want to see. And that was very attractive for me. And even though I realized that this was a very competitive scholarship, but just understanding that this is something that it fits so much into my personality and my brand. And another thing about Chevening is that Chevening makes you really think. Even if you do not get the scholarship, it helps you to be very introspective. It makes you think about what do you want, what are your goals, what are your aspirations. I think that's very good.
That's like a gift, really. Yeah. Because even if you don't get it, I feel like you have basically helps you create a plan for your life, really. And it's something that you've already researched. So it's very easy to do some of the things you say you're going to do. And some people even say that maybe after the application process, they realize that even if they don't get Chevening, they're really going to try other means to do those things that they've said. Yeah. So I feel like it's important for you to still try some of these things. It helps you to build yourself and, you know, build your goals and all of that. So yeah, you said the first time you saw it, you were like, this is too much. But this time around, you're like, okay, I can do it. So anyways, how was the application process like? Would you say it was easy, or would you say it was difficult, or would you say it was just challenging?
I would say it was challenging. It was really challenging in the sense that, first of all, I think the first obstacle that anyone would have to face is that challenge of self-doubt. You know, thinking about how competitive. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, this is a worldwide scholarship, first of all. There are processes involved. I saw you have to be shortlisted after the essay, you have to go for interview and all that. And that was quite daunting. But I believe that once you are able to really sit down and research, that's why I really love, if there's any word that I will keep telling people when it comes to Chevening, it is research. Because research kind of just makes a mountain become less daunting, because you're able to really understand what it's about, you're able to see how you can fit into what is required of you. So research was very important for me in the whole process, understanding what it's about, understanding how I can leverage on Chevening, on the networks, understanding how my former experiences can be brought to Chevening. So that was very important for me, research. And though there were times when I doubted it was going to be possible, but I had that support system. I had people around me who constantly check up on me. I'm like, have you applied? That thing you're going to apply for. Have you applied?
Wow.
You know,
support goals.
Yeah. So having those kind of people, friends, families.
So how do you find those kind of friends? Because some people say that, you know, they don't have that kind of support system. What would you say was a factor in helping you find people who support you, who share similar goals?
I think generally the kind of people that I surround myself with, and having people that you have similar vision. So I just generally have people that are supportive, people that, you know, they are willing to just rally around me and say, okay, even when it gets tiring, they are not people that like, you know, beat me down or make me feel like it's something that they motivate. And even though there were people that did say, that got skeptical because it looked, you know, daunting to them, but it wasn't out of spite. They didn't do it out of spite. We're just worried about it. But I just surround myself with people that are like-minded, people that have the same vision.
So you got Chevening at your first try. What would you say was that it factor that helped you, you know, to go all the way?
Well, I think the first thing would be God. Yes, that was. I think that's my it factor, because I feel like it could have been possible for me to do all these things, do everything right, and at the end of the day, it didn't happen. Yes, so that was very important for me. And then research, you know, doing my research, doing my homework, being willing to put in the work.
What platforms did you consult for your research?
YouTube was like,
YouTube, watch these videos.
Yes. Subscribe. I was always on YouTube. Like I started mentioning a lot of them that I watched. There were some that are not even popular. So I dug down. In fact, I'm not YouTubers, so I've gotten like tired of
actually doing a lot of that actually.
Yeah. So, I dug deep. Even people that I saw that they had like 10 views.
I still watched it.
Yeah. Because like, everybody has
videos that were not easy to watch. Some videos, the quality, but it's the content, really.
True. Because everybody has different stories. Everybody has different perspectives about the scholarship. So if you're able to take this,
bring everything
together, YouTube, blogs, Medium articles.
Medium articles as well.
And the most important thing, Chevening website. My goodness. Please. I literally, that website literally became like I ate it up. I combed through everything. In fact, I had not gotten the scholarship. I was already reading parts about how to settle in the UK.
Wow.
when I applied and I was waiting for the interview results, I had already started researching about settling down in the UK, about how to get your visa, about what to do when you get to the UK. I went crazy with it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow. And wow. So you guys have learned you need to research, you need to find out everything you can find out, and then you also need the gut factor as well. So don't think that you can just do battle by yourself. And then also have a support system. I feel like that really helped you as well.
Very important.
So is there anything in the application process that you wish you could do differently?
Well, I'm here now, so
you don't need to do anything differently.
Yeah, so but I think what I would do differently would be, I wish I had been more, like say, less worried. Because there are times when honestly the process can be very good.
Can make you
go crazy. Like there are times when I would just be checking, I would just refresh my mail every second. Every second.
I think I did that as well, actually.
Yeah. I just had been a bit more, let's say, less
calm.
more calm, and just generally just chilled about whatever comes. But there were times when I feel like I had this like, let's say,
the times you were confident, times you're like,
there are highs and lows. Yeah,
that's actually very human, really.
The other times I was like, whatever. Then other times
like, it's not whatever. Please, let me get this scholarship.
Exactly.
And then come. All right, that's really smart. Okay, so what advice do you have for like applicants in the essay part of it? What would you say that prospective applicants should do that could give them a better edge above like other competitors?
Okay, I think it's important. I'll say 3 things. The first thing, I've said it over and over again, is research. The second thing is, before you even start applying, just sit down. Maybe go for a retreat, like go somewhere, go to a quiet place, or just lock yourself in a room and just sit down and think about your life. Literally just think about your life and think about, what have I done? Where am I going? What are my goals? What are my aspirations? How do I want to get there? Have a clear plan. Write it down before you even put pen to paper and say you want to start writing an essay. Make sure that you have everything outlined properly. This is what I want to do, because Shivi is about owning your story. So you don't want to have to write an essay and then eventually you cannot defend it. So it's important that you sit down, dig very deep, in fact, deep within and know what it is that you really want. And then the third thing is be clear and concise when you're writing your essay. Don't tell them the story of your life. You don't need to.
Don't bore them. Like they have a lot to read.
Exactly. Go straight to the point. I would recommend using the STAR approach: situation, task, action, and the result. So once you do that, it helps you to kind of put everything together, and your essay stands
to go off.
Yeah, you don't go off key.
Also to put like a structure so that there's a goal behind what you're writing.
Yeah. So those 3 things.
What about the interviews? What tips do you have? Because that's like really a very competitive aspect, because everybody you're competing against has been shortlisted. So like you have to really put in the best foot forward. So what would you say?
I think
people shortlisted.
I think for the interviews, first of all, understanding that the fact that you got so far means that there was something that they saw. For me, when I was shortlisted for the interview, my confidence kind of went really like I was like, okay, so it must be that they saw something and it kind of made me have that fighting spirit, willing to go in there and just really fight for this, because there's something there and I have to fight for that. So knowing that you've gotten this far means that there is something that they are seeing, there is something that they really want to explore deeper. Then owning your story, go there, be very passionate. In fact, let it be that you are very extra. Okay, not so extra, not like that, but at least you let them see the passion.
The drive.
The drive is very important. It's also important for you to know that those people that are on the other side of the table, they are humans, interact with them, try and have conversations when they ask you questions. You know that you're not going to a job interview, so to speak, because they are very friendly. They are, even though they are serious, they want to know what's going on, but don't be too tensed up. Don't just be willing to interact with them, and just generally just do you, just be yourself, and very cute.
Final words for anybody that wants to apply for Chevening but just feels like it's too much for them. They're not qualified enough. These people are intimidating. These scholarships are well achieved. Oh God, have I done enough? What would you say to those people?
I would say that you should be yourself. I know we hear this all the time, but particularly for Chevening, it's very important. You have to learn to own your story. I know it can be daunting when you see people that are doing this. This person has won so many awards,
all the events they attended.
Boom, 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 boom. And you're like, I've not even done
I've not even left my country. I've not even reached 1,000. I've even done 100.
So, yeah, it can be intimidating. But know that even in the midst of all the people that boom, boom, there are some that they are not like that. That's why I said from the beginning that every Chevening scholar is different.
Yeah,
everyone is different. So just own your story, understand what Chevening is looking for, be willing to fight for it. Don't think that because you have not done as much, and even if you have done as much, don't feel like that as much that you've done
it's automatic.
It's automatic.
Still try to,
yes, you have to do the work. So believe in yourself, know that you can only get it if you try. So you just really have to try and believe in your own story.
Oh my gosh, that was really inspiring. So like she said, do not be intimidated, and if you've done a lot, do not let that make you, remain, don't let that make you complacent, really. So try hard, put in the work, research, and show your passion, and I know that you're going to get it. All right, thank you so much, Oyindamola. It was really nice having you.
It was great being here.
I'm sure you guys learned a lot. I really learned a lot, and we're looking forward to having you on this show next year. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's episode. This episode was sponsored by Avemont Consulting. I remain your girl, Faith Agbola, aka FM Stories. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't you want to learn and grow? Tell people about us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Bye.